It is well known also, if you're a fan of Kendrick Lamar, for him to process his mental health
through his music.
Right. But in it, as he's processing his mental health, which is normal, as he's name dropping, which is normal in the hip hop industry, he does something uncommon and mentions the name of two gospel hip hop artists.
Yeah.
Right? And why is this so unusual?
So here's the deal. When Kendrick drops the song Watch the Party Die, it's untitled. He only drops it on his Instagram. And he's just talking about all the evils of the industry and how he wants to see a different world and how he's like, man, he's even alluding to these violent tendencies, how he wants to burn the world. And then in the end, he says, but sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do. I want to have a heart like D1. You do not often hear secular artists mentioning these Christian artists. And in fact, Kendrick has been a friend of Lecrae for multiple years. We've never seen them work together. We've never seen them do anything together. They've talked behind the scenes. These worlds don't often overlap. But instead, he mentions the two of them, and we even get responses from both of these artists, causing this incredible crossover even in the media side of things. But gospel artist KB jumps online and breaks down what is going on, and he gives this awesome spin on it that I felt like more people should recognize, especially those of us in the Christian sphere. And I wanted to share a little bit of that from this clip today. Let's check it out.
He is as big as the Super Bowl now. No shade. I'm just saying. The guy, the most respected rapper in the world, has referenced our guys, our friends. And KBJ responded to me, Daddy, why didn't he mention you? To which I responded, go to bed.
Exactly.
Stay out of grown folk business. No, I'm just joking.
Stop capping.
It was time for me to go to bed. Anyways, but I did respond to him, and then what I would say to anybody, I don't care about that. Bro, when he mentioned my guys, he mentioned us because I don't care what anybody says. When the kingdom is acknowledged, we all are acknowledged. And let me be clear about why the acknowledgement matters at all. It's not that just the guy mentioned our guys. That is shallow, though encouraging. But it's vapid. What's much deeper, more substantive, is that the reason that he acknowledged them went beyond their music. There's no reference to his music, to their music. The reason that he referenced them goes beyond Lecrae and D1's catalog, bruh.
Okay.
What he was struck by is the same thing that I believe that any Christian should be striking in the heart of folks who are observing us. And that is, he reflected on who they were as people, how they might behave in a world that is falling apart, how they have carried themselves, how they reflect something, oh my goodness, this is the word, different. There's distinction. And I rejoice in that far more than the guy acknowledging my guys. What I rejoice in is that the mission that we set out on in the beginning was to live out what Jesus said to us. That I am leaving you in the world on purpose. Jesus could take us out the world if he wanted to. There'd be nothing for the king to snap his fingers and we'd be gone. But he wants us here. Why? Let me stop yelling. Why does he want us here? He wants us here, read Matthew 5, to be a city on the hill. That when hip hop is dealing in darkness, there is a place that people can go to that is light. When we started this thing 15, 16, 20 years ago, that was the goal. Not to be able to go band for band.
Jesus could have taken us out of here at any point, but he left us here so that we could be a city on a hill, so we could be light. Now, you know, on the hip hop tip, that means a whole lot to me personally in that particular culture. The hip hop space and the gaming space are two places, the entertainment industry in general and the gaming space are two places that are full of darkness everywhere. And to see someone go, man, but I've seen something different. And I'm wondering if there's a different way that I would respond. Man, that Kendrick Lamar song, like I was almost scared listening to it. I was like, man, this is freaky. Somebody needed to check on bro. But for him to go, but maybe there's a different way for me to move. And that goes beyond just.
The thing that got me is I don't even have an Instagram account. Somebody sent the post to me, and I watched it. I sent it to you, and then they were like, "Man, did you see the comments?" I was like, "I can't see the comments. I'm not on Instagram."
Comments
So
are crazy. I was gonna get to that. Yeah.
they shot me some comments from some of the people, not just everyday, but some of the other people in Christian hip hop. And man, it was so encouraging. And here's why. I remember being in college, and man, I was serious about my faith in college. I got more and more serious about my faith. I started feeling my calling in ministry in college. And I remember the first time somebody kind of in our friend group was like, "Man, I don't believe." And I was like, "What? What do what?" And I started to go in. But one of my friends who had been walking with Christ longer, like, did me like this, like she shushed me, man. She shushed me in front of everybody. She was like, shush. And she started like lovingly like asking more questions and leaning in and like asking about their story and what happened and how did they get to this point and different things of that nature. And I was like, oh, right?
Oh,
And
that's
so
how we respond.
and so like now, like years later, I've been around a lot more people who don't believe. Yeah. And it's always like, okay, like, man, tell me more. And why do you believe like that? And why, like, what caused you to be at this place? And like listening to the story and engaging. And I think I saw like screenshots of like Lecrae and some of those guys that just like lovingly. Yes. This is somebody who worked with them, who's on music with them, who's on albums with them. They just can't go delete everything that they've been a part of with this person. And instead of being like, let me tell you where all your theology is flawed. Let me give you all these historical, archaeological facts about how this is true, and we can prove more of this than the Odyssey and the Iliad, and we can do all these things. And they said, we love you. We love you. We love you. And knowing that, man, there's no so. I'm going to tell you something. In the same way that a man don't wake up one day and just feels like, I'm going to walk away from my family and totally be done with everything without some kind of deep hurt there. You don't just wake up and say, this whole system of beliefs that I had, I just no longer believe without some kind of deep hurt there. And at that point, a person doesn't need convincing. They need compassion. And part of that means just enough to say, I love you. And if you want to talk, I'll listen. And I'm lean in and hear your story. And I don't have to condemn you. And I don't even have to agree with you. And you don't have to agree with where I sit at. But right now, where you at in this place of hurt, I love you.
Man, yeah. Welcome back, South by East fans, to the intersection where we talk about the culture, scripture, and everything in between. And sometimes there's something that just grabs you out of the muck of life, in the thick of it, when it's all going down, and gives you a little ray of sunshine. And that's what this was here for me. John, what are we looking at?
We're looking at barbecue bologna.
Ooh. That sounds nasty.
Yeah. Oh, see that? That's what you got.
That sounds nasty.
And so here's what you think that, and this is why this comes in the picture, is because I'm a foodie, a barbecue connoisseur. When I travel, I like to go to the best barbecue place I can find in the place where I'm going. Okay. But you know, when you get into conversations, a lot of people like to talk about brisket, which I love brisket, or ribs, or different things of that nature. But sometimes and it's kind of embarrassing at times to admit, like, you know what, I actually like barbecued bologna. And when you say that, and a lot of times, for people who don't know really, they give that reaction.
Yeah.
Until they taste a barbecue bologna sandwich.
Try it. Yeah.
And then they were like, my bad, right? And that's the deal with this on top of the covers, T-Pain, album that we're talking about. This concert has been going wild on YouTube, and Brail shot me a message saying, "Hey, have you watched this concert?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Okay, check this out." And then we were in a meeting. He said, "Man, have you checked that out?" And I was like, "I haven't checked it out." And then he was talking about it again at another time. And he said, "Have you checked that out?" I said, "I have not checked it out." And then I finally checked it out.
Yeah.
And I was mad at Brail because
what I do?
I said, "Why didn't you tell me that this album was this good?" And
I did. I literally did.
But he didn't say for real, seriously for real. And so I didn't really know that the album was really that good because he didn't tell me that it was that good.
That's the culture. You got to speak the right language. You're right. You got me there. You got me there.
Yes.
It's important to be up on the culture, man. And it's like a lot of people sleep on the barbecue bologna that is on top of the covers in this live concert. So I was originally a T-Pain hater. He came out. I was like, he's ruining it for all the real singers being in love with strippers, and I don't like it. And my brother actually gave me the Epiphany album. He's like, "Man, it's T-Pain's second album. You listen to it." Just left it in my house. I said, "What am I supposed to do with this Robot Man?" And I threw that music in, and the first track came on and was banging. And I started looking up the credits, and I was like, he was writing and producing, and he's playing the chords, and I was blown away by the musicianship, and it changed things for me. And I became a T-Pain fan. Anything T-Pain did, I was like, I'm gonna check it out at least once. Sometimes the content is not what I want in my brain, but because he's crazy talented. And this concert was just a showcase of his versatility and musicianship and his ability to bring incredible musicians around him.
Barbecue bologna.
Because
I'm gonna tell you something. It's kind of in college. I used to jam the T-Pain.
Yeah, bro.
Man, look at her.
Buy you it.
Come on now.
I'm a ticket. Bro, it's the jam. It's the jam, bro. And what kills me about this concert? So the concert starts out with a whole little jam. We got the bass player just riffing, got a little loop going. They bring in the keys, and they end up just doing this crazy riff. And you're just like, where is this going? I don't know, but I don't want it to stop.
Okay, you ready for me to get fired?
Yeah.
The way they entered on reminded me of what we did, I think, for one Christmas Eve or Easter service. The way they came in, the band came in.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching it, I was like, did we do that? I didn't have any knowledge that this was...
Hey, listen. Your worship pastor is a world traveling musician.
I was like,
I'm pulling from everywhere.
I was like, fam. I was like, this looks. They don't know what we did here, and we did ours before them, but it sure looked like.